There we go. Either I'm the most nervous one or prepared one in case I blank out. Alright, I also drank 2 cups of coffee, 1 cup of tea, and finished my scotch. So if I start to shake, just remind me to breathe. Okay. Ungrateful whore. My former boss scoffed at me when I refused his sexual advances laced with promises to help me make it to the top. Ironically, whore was the greatest indictment the 40-year-old producer could conjure for a college-aged woman, striving to make her mark in the entertainment industry without compromising her sexual integrity. As I was once again reduced to an object based on my gender, I was reminded of a time in my past when I was stricken by gender-based injustice. I was 11 when I lost the class captain election at Gangdong Elementary School in Busan, South Korea. My homeroom teacher explained to me that it's always better to have a boy as the president and a girl as the vice president. I know. Although my natural intuition told me that this was wrong, it was not my place to challenge authority at the immediate moment, a typical obedient Asian culture. Instead, I begged my parents to help me send me away from Korea to advance my education in a new culture that would hopefully present different experiences. A few short months later, I found myself flying 6,000 miles across the Pacific Ocean en route to a supposedly more civilized country, Australia. Then I moved up my education from Canada to the United States. Yet a few short years later, I found myself once again victimized on account of my gender and objectified on account of my sex. This time, I followed my natural intuition and rejected the sexual advances of the man who was my boss and supposedly a leader. And as a result of rejecting his unwanted advances, I was terminated. Okay, now I'm better. I'm gonna sit down. But this time I refused to flee. Instead, I faced the gender-based injustice head-on. I confronted him for his unacceptable and unethical behavior, and I filed a lawsuit for sexual harassment against him. After 3 years struggle, my harasser was terminated. While I would never wish those circumstances on another person, my experience with sexual harassment marked a turning point in my career. I began to contemplate broader gender issues, including sexual harassment and gender-based injustice. In a twist of fate, I had found my new calling. To pursue my calling of female empowerment, I started to work in Chicago magazine, and a year later, I became an ambassador at the Chicago Council of Global Affairs. Working for these 2 organizations allowed me to see the dichotomy between successful women in Chicago and women from the developing world. There are about 18 countries in Africa and Middle East where they often lack access to financial services. Women still need male consent to work, whereas women in Chicago here tonight are starting their own businesses, publishing their own books, and slaying their own industry. I felt compelled to do something more than just raising awareness, mostly on my social media, in my own community. Accordingly, I joined the United Nations Association of Chicago and the U.S. Embassy Fellowship Program. Credit to Rachel, because she let me know about this. And moreover, I'll be attending the 63rd session on the UNWomen as a UNA USA delegate in March of 2019 to discuss progress and gaps in promoting women's rights, reviewing the status of women around the world, and shape global standards on gender equality. If I had learned anything since my days at Gangdong Elementary School in South Korea, it is that the girls can do anything boys can if society permits the opportunity. However, gender equality will not be alleviated if I run away from the issues or only target one manifestation. Rather, it will only happen when society as a whole brings the idea. I did not plan this, I just saw that and I was inspired. As its social structure. Impact. As a woman who has been accorded the opportunity to fight the systemic plague of gender injustice, I would be remiss if I did not stand up for international women's rights or fight to give a voice to those who don't know they have one yet, like I did back in the days. To bring about the changes I believe in, I'm going back to school next fall for MS in Global Affairs, Human Rights and International Law program. And I would like to give all the credits to the council to help me find my new calling and encourage all the YPs who's attending here to take the most advantage out of the best clubs of ambitious millennials voted by Crane. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. Great ending of that living on the fly. So that's good. Thanks for